case, we start putting it up with the docket, and then a justice reviews it. And the same thing as the other search warrants that got thrown out. They just get reviewed by a justice after hundreds of man hours have been done, and then it's all gone. So that process doesn't really resolve it. And honestly, if that's the process they go with, they need to get rid of the command required signature, because the whole point was to have 3 different people saying there's enough PC. And I'm sorry, but if 3 people say there's enough PC, it should go through. And it should be considered valid like it says in legislation.
Yeah, I know that Nathaniel Grayson's opinion is more that the standard wasn't the level it should have been in the past months. Basically saying that previous people were signing things they shouldn't have. He's also suggesting that should PD wish to speak about a warrant, it be done in City Hall and not either at the PD or when a raid is set up and everyone's mounted and ready to go, so there's not the implicit or explicit pressure of look at all these people set up, just sign it, let's go.
I think if there is going to be some kind of, you know, ability to contest and throw out warrants by justices, it needs to be, well, it needs to be in legislation first of all, because it's not. And then maybe, like, if there is a contest, like, you know, someone contests a warrant, it needs to go to every justice, in my opinion. It goes to every justice, and every justice has to say, would I have signed that warrant? And if the majority of them would have signed it, then it doesn't get thrown out. If the majority of them wouldn't have signed it, then it gets thrown out. So something that it's not just one person or one justice who, you know, has bad opinions on things and throws things out. And, like, maybe even have it so that what Craig is saying, you know, this whole, like, you're spending 3 weeks on a case just for a justice to throw it out. Maybe have something in place that, you know, let's say a search warrant happens, there doesn't, maybe have it in legislation that there doesn't need to be a court case for the contest to happen. So, like, let's say the whole Pred case, right? And Pred goes to his lawyer and is like, I got fucking raided, it's bullshit. They've obviously got the warrant. They should be able to go to, like, a panel of justices and be like, hey, I'm going to appeal this warrant, and I don't think there's enough PC here, and the same process happens. So that Craig isn't waiting 3 weeks for a case to get thrown out. It's like a few days, and you put a limit on the thing or something. I don't know. Just the process right now is not good.
Yeah, here's a proper solution that resolves all this whole thing. How about we all just get on the same fucking page about what PC's needed? When we get 3 signatures, 3 people agree to it, we just consider it valid, and you don't have a chance to invalidate it. I mean,
Yeah.
It's really all going to come down to we don't have, like, this isn't a 9-to-5 job, Claire. Let's all get on the same page so we understand these things. We don't have these problems. Stop making
That's a good reference.
extra steps to to figure out stuff so that we have these extra checks. We shouldn't have. We already jumped through enough hoops. I think having 3 people sign off on it should be enough. And the fact that we're saying those 3 people alone need additional steps of oversight is ridiculous. It's just it's unnecessary.
I agree. I will also say I don't think all the out of the 3 recent examples, I wouldn't say all 3 are created equal.
Yeah, no, they're all very different.
I will refrain from giving my opinion on the Snow one, but I think the Pred one should have stood. I just think Hallow was...
Heck, Hallow.
A dumbass.
I'm trying to think how to say it a bit more politely. Not exactly locked in.
Wow.
And I know you won't comment on mine.
Yes, wow is probably the reason.
Yeah, what a good presidentship for justice, man. I don't know whether you can give your opinion on this, but with this happening without it being in legislation, what's your opinion on that?
I think when Halo did it the first time, it should have been contested. And then when he did it the second time, it's like, well, he's sort of setting the example. And then when it happened the third time, I wasn't there, but I would feel like the judge maybe said her hands were tied at that point.
She said her hands were tied because of what Halo did.
Yeah. It's like, well, if Halo can overturn other people's warrants, why can't she overturn one of his?
Stop it.
To me,
Yeah, y'all, all of y'all, quit overturning shit.
I haven't overturned anything.
Bad
in the courtroom.
justices.
Hold on, let me find that. The issue is, I'll be straight up. I've wanted to contest this for a while. I haven't been able to speak to Halo because you never ran my time.
He's never around a lot of times.
Really? Okay.
He's got Azeroth.
Even before that.
That's fair.
Would you classify what Halo's done as exceeding the mandate of his office?
Yeah, there's technically legislation that says you can't do it. I don't know why they keep doing it over and over again.
I shan't comment on that. I will say with the new batch of justices coming in who are around, maybe not in the past few days given the type of year, but with Weiss and Arcadia and the third justice once he is properly back, should he accept it. I don't see him declining it, but I'm sure you guys can figure out who it is based on that wording.
Should he be back?
Oh, it's a judge that hasn't been around for a while, but when he was around, he was back.
Is it Bailey?
He's not. No.
Is it Crane?
No, he's a current judge.
Oh, he's a current judge.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't know. There's no roster for judges, so I don't. I don't know.
Well, we have myself. There's Beric Johnson, Ava Devereaux, Joseph Oxlong. We have Nathaniel Grayson, Arthur McNee, and Sean Danielson.
Wait, Arthur McNee, the one that just audited the that guy?
What did?
I thought you said
that he audited it.
Oh,
no,
was
Archibald McRae was the one.
McRae.
Yeah.
I have no idea who it would be out of those guys because I the only one I can think of was Grayson being a justice, but
well, he's been around.
I don't know.
But yeah, once the third justice accepts the position, we'll have 3 justices who are, at least should be active and around in the city and have a finger on the pulse, so to speak, as opposed to waking up when called.
Yeah, I agree that shouldn't happen. Okay, well, I appreciate the transparency. It's nice to see a judge around this time.
Yeah, I'm on 24 hours right now.
Yeah, you should probably get some rest.
I tried, but no luck.
Well, if there's anything you need, we'll be here.
Yep. Who did you think I was dating?
Oh, I don't know. Nobody. Well, don't worry about it. I thought it was you. I got you with someone else. You know, Thought it was another judge.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Do you know what
Yeah.
he's talking about, Craig?
I have no idea. Just dark
All right.
things.
My bad.
All right. Well, thanks for the taking the report.
No problem. No
Right.
problem.
See you guys.
He really doesn't care that you fucked his girl.
What are you trying to do? Asshole.
God, Greg. Ah. What was that for?
What was that for?
These windows are thin.
Yeah, they are.
What happened?
Nothing.
I just punched Dark
He just punched me.
Oh, the thing that
for
Doc
not being
said.
around forever. Making me put up all this shit alone.
Who did you fuck, Craig?
Huh?
No. I said,
I've been fucked by the DOJ. By this
Yeah.
whole fucking all these
He's been
asshole
fucked,
marshals
yeah.
not coming on duty and making me do. Look at this fucking case board. It's all me. Every single case is me.
Is it about Gates?
Huh?
Is Doc talking about Gates?
I
Oh,
can't hear you.
I don't have any gates. I mean, we're the
Apparently these
gates at the
walls aren't that
back.
thin.
Is Doc talking about Gates?
Who?
I think you're.
You
I'm
mishearing.
used to dealing with Australians, so this accent is tripping me up a little bit.
Elizabeth Gates?
Oh, what about Elizabeth?
Is that who Doc's talking about?
Who?
I
Is that who you're
said,
dating?
Craig, you've been fucked by the girl.
What? Try that again, Dark.
That's what I said. He's getting confused.
You missed it, the part where you said he doesn't care that.
Oh. Yeah. I was talking about White. I was talking about White. White doesn't care that he's been fucked over, you know?
Weiss is married.
No.
Is he?
What's that gonna do with
Yeah.
anything? Who
Who's
do
Weiss
it?
married to?
His wife is named Penelope. I thought he was gay, to be honest.
Penelope who?
That's his wife? I thought it was his
Penelope
sister.
Weiss. No, that's his wife. Although she might be a beard, I don't know.
Where did I see her? Why does she doesn't have a picture of the profile?
I don't know.
I thought they looked very similar. I thought it was his sister.
They dressed, they color coordinated the outfits
Yeah.
when I seen them.
Like I almost thought they were like twins or something because they do that weird coordinating thing that twins
Yeah.
often do, and they kind of look alike.
Maybe they are twins. You can't judge. It's
God.
just San Andreas shit.
Careful, careful, Dark.
What? Anyway, sorry for the confusion, Your Honor. My bad.
Uh-huh.
My bad.
All right, have a good night, Your Honor. I'm about to clock out as well.
It's the afternoon, unfortunately.
There's no reason you can't sleep. I sleep
Well,
through
there
the
is a
sun
reason,
all
I
the
just
time.
don't know it.
Sorry, Craig. My
See you
bad.
guys.
Bye, Your
Bye.
Honor.
Yes, I slept with Elizabeth Gates. God damn it.
Does she know?
Does she know?
What the? Okay, that's concerning.
What do you mean? Does she? What do you mean? Does she?
No,
did
I
you say
said,
she know?
does he know?
Yeah, probably.
I don't know whether he does.
Well, then don't let him know.
Are you a homewrecker? Are you homewrecker?
I don't have a home. There's no home
No,
for me to
they
wreck.
have a home.
No, they don't. You got to be able to buy one first.
Yeah, but they might live together in their apartment. I said, it's metaphorical, Craig.
Well,
You-
I don't look. Honestly, it was great.
I don't
You know
want to know how it is.
It was great, and I'm gonna keep doing it.
God damn it, Craig. And now I feel like I should let the guy know.
No.
Okay. All right, I won't. Should we file an ACR on Halo?
No, it's not worth it.
Why? Why not? We don't have to do. We don't have to do a lot. Just be like, here's one court case we got thrown out. Here's another one, and then
Honestly, what's going to happen? It's ACR is just a finger point, right? It's going to be like, hey, this is a problem, and they're going to go, yep, that's a problem. They're already addressing it. So what's the point of the ACR?
because Halo's
they're
an idiot,
literally-
I want to point a finger at a judge, not the DOJ.
You know, it would be a better way instead of getting ACR is we name the legislation after him.
I mean, yeah, that's
because then it's a forever imprint on the state of his mistakes.
yeah, I agree.
We had to make this legislation to correct your mistakes, so now it's going to be forever emblazoned in our legislation.
Yeah, but you know that's gonna go to like wait, hold on, no. Okay, hear me out. No, we don't want this. Never mind. Because I was gonna say
Well, now you
if it
gotta
goes
share it with me.
if it goes to an ACR, right? It's a DOJ thing, and they've been told that they can amend legislation after like a court case or like a DOJ thing. They might be able to amend the legislation after an ACR hearing. I don't know whether that would actually happen or whether they'd do it, but they could. But that's making me not want to do an ACR. I don't know, because if it goes to a vote, if it goes to a vote, would it go to a vote? Like if they try to amend that legislation?
I mean, if somebody challenges it, yeah.
Yeah, and people probably would they challenge it? I mean, you've got a pretty good.
They challenge
thing.
everything. People literally just find a reason to challenge it. Remember the whole rant? 90% of this county just is of this.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But wouldn't they want
the state?
Wouldn't the criminals want there to be ability to throw over a warrant?
They don't care.
I mean, I don't know about that.
No, they really don't. They're literally just going to challenge it to challenge it.
Okay, I can agree with you there, but criminals would want to challenge it because then, oh, fuck, I can't talk. Because then they can get their warrants thrown out, even though they're signed it, and then they get away with it.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Like, I think I'm going to stand on business here. That's just, it's stupid. Just
Yeah.
Stop throwing out fucking search warrants and get on the same page.
Yeah, I completely agree.
We already have enough checks. The 3 signatures alone is plenty enough checks. It is absurd that we have to think about being like, well, 3 people made a mistake and we have to correct this over and over again because we don't believe in these things. No, get on the same fucking page.
Honestly, I completely agree with you, but I always like to prepare for the worst. So, what about if, I don't know, me and then Weiss and, I don't know, fucking Falconer are all like corrupt, right? And we all do a search warrant and get it signed. What then? This is me preparing for the worst. Like, what's the possibility
That's 3
there?
people.
Yeah.
Well, then that goes through, but then we do an ACR and impeachment on it, on corruption. There's literally a straight up corruption thing in
Right,
ACR.
but then there's the consideration to be made. That's like after the fact, but then this person's property still gets searched. What's the I don't know what the word is.
Then all his shit gets torn apart. His life gets fucking turned upside down. He does a lot of time in prison. And then by the time he's done with prison, hopefully our ACR and impeachment's done, and it's found that it was actual corruption, and he could take him to civil suit.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
I mean, we can't keep going over we have to prepare for this minor thing. Like 3 people in 3 different layers of government, a judge, a police officer, and a commanding officer, all have to be corrupt at the same time and all align together to target one person and be like, just this person in particular, fuck you.
Yeah,
Like
and then to
that would
say
have to
that
be a
no one would notice as well. Like we'd notice that it
yeah
happened because it'd be
yeah.
brought
If it
up.
was if it was three people doing it in that kind of manner, like it's if it's something that the stars align in that perfect manner, it's gonna raise red flags. And the chances of that happening are so slim. Like we can't just change our ideas to prepare for that one small niche thing. Otherwise, we'd never get anything done.
No, I do agree with you on that. I think that's a problem with the state at the minute. Is like there's legislation for everything,
Yeah,
and it has to cover everything, every possibility, and every outcome. Instead of like what I prefer happening, which is like, especially for like criminal things, is like not everything has to be covered. It goes to court. There's an outcome, and then an amendment's made. Or like you push a charge on somebody in an attempt to change or add a law, right? Instead of like every single base having to be covered before you can do anything. Yeah,
yeah.
I'll be honest.
The
Go on.
I would just I already like constantly see issues everywhere with. I've been saying this a lot over the month, so I feel like I'm beating a dead horse with
Mm-hmm.
a hammer right now. The concept of law philosophy and the actual concept of the conceptual difference of probable cause and beyond a reasonable doubt are completely lost in this state.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. Yeah.
Like the quantification of probable cause is so misunderstood, and the quantification of even beyond a reasonable doubt is misunderstood because people latch on to the niche like 0.5%, like 0.001% chance. Well, you didn't prove this particular method couldn't have happened, so therefore it's not beyond a reasonable doubt. It's like, I saw that individual shoot his gun at that person, and the person fell over. But what are the chances that it was somebody 3 blocks away who was celebrating 4th of July and
Right.
shot their
Yeah.
gun up in the air, and the bullet came down and hit them at the exact same time? You're not thinking about that possibility. It was 4th of July, so that could have happened. It's like, well, yeah, I guess that's something that could have happened. We're going to find him not guilty because it's beyond a reasonable doubt. No, that's not that. That's literally what's a reasonable doubt.
Yep.
What's reasonable?
I know.
And we are very lost on that. And then
It's
probable
crazy.
cause, dear God, the difference between PC and Bard, dear Jesus. I go out there and I ask cops all the time, what's the difference between you can go out there and ask any officer in the field right now, what's PC? And they'll ramble off the exact same textbook definition of it. But then you try to ask them give me an example where you have PC but you don't have Bard. And I swear to you, none of them will be able to do it. They'll all articulate Bard. None of them will be able to articulate less than that.
Yeah. I think the confusion might come about is because, like, if you're in another state, right, you get arrested, you get a court date, and it's in court that you get proved beyond a reasonable doubt, but you still get arrested because they had PC to arrest you, and you might not get found guilty for like everything that you get arrested for. I think that's the difference. Is that here, like cops are like judge, jury, and executioner, right? They have PC and then they go to jail, and so I think they equate the two the same.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm just sorry. I was having a conversation with a lawyer the other day about this exact same thing, right? And he was like, it's just so hard to be a lawyer. I feel like I'm failing to grasp it. I was like, well, you've got to think of the contextual difference between here and like the Western states, for example. Here, 99.9% of your clients are guilty. Just straight up.
Yeah.
Your only hope is technicalities for the most part, but that also highlights an important flaw in our culture right now. It comes down to the PC versus Bard definition, and cops don't arrest you unless they have Bard. Like cops don't take a chance and arrest you on PC, but they don't arrest you on PC because they're afraid of being hung up to dry because of arresting somebody without Bard.
100%. Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
And we've established this culture, and it's just a never-ending cultural spiral.
Yeah, I think it's also, the police aren't given the confidence to do what, arrest someone just on PC, right? Because I think
Hmm.
they haven't been really, at least from what I've seen, like from the top down, there hasn't been that support and confidence given to people to do that. If anything, it's been the opposite. It's been like, you've arrested somebody and then your high command's gone against you or something like that and called you out instead of supporting you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't know. I feel like we should encourage people to do more PC arrests, but then it just gets people upset because of our the way we instantly send people to jail. Regardless, it feels like
Yeah.
it just feels off. I mean, if it were up to me, I would be making readjustments on our system entirely. But I know that's not up to me.
Hmm.
If it were me, every single time we arrest somebody, we arrest them, we seize their shit as evidence, and we find them and then kick them loose, and they get like the time that they would have served is put on their like pool essentially, and we can keep stacking them up for up to 3 weeks or 2 weeks or something like that. You have so much time to either contest and bring it to the docket or to serve your time. After 3 weeks, you need to either serve your time or put it on the docket. And maybe you take your 3 weeks worth of crime and you serve it off in one day in one big long 900-month sentence or whatever.
Yeah.
But hey, then at least you're spending a lot of time with DOC and getting to talk to them and stuff now too. Instead of just going, well, I'm only here for 20 months. I'm just going to wash dishes for 20 months
Right.
and
Yeah. No, I do
then
agree
bolt
with you
out
on
of
that.
here.
The whole go to prison, get straight out of prison, I don't agree with either. But yeah, there's all circling back to like the whole focusing on the minute details in legislation and everything. Did you read the audit of the martial legislation that Nino did and his whoever else involved in that?
Oh, fuck no. I didn't give a shit what they have to say.
I had a look. It was like 7 or 8 pages. I can't remember exactly, but there was Nino was pushing for precise definition on oversight within our legislation. So you know how like we give oversight to the police departments and government authorities. Like he wanted to
Hmm.
put in a precise definition on oversight. And that's how like crazy precise things that people are trying to push legislation in the direction of. They was like listed out with like bullet points about what oversight means, which I don't know. It's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's all absurd. I mean, honestly, like I said, I haven't really even read it because I already know it's going to be full of a whole bunch of, I'm need. Well, I think all the police departments need more oversight, and the marshals are just completely uncontrolled. They need more and more oversight, and I need to be able to step on everything they do because I'm a mayor and I should have total say over everything that happens in this state. And why don't we just make it one county, and I'll just be the governor over everything? That's pretty much what I expect to come out of Nito's office.
It was pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the DOJ kind of rolling over for him with that whole thing, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think this is the issue. I think Angel was like the backbone of the DOJ and the Marshals. And she would kind of stand up to Nino and, anybody else that would come along.
Yeah.
And whether or not the things she did, everything was right, is beyond the fact that she had a spine and she'd kind of fight back against things. But there doesn't really seem to be that like central figure in the DOJ anymore. It's all kind of like just a big mush of opinions and stuff like that. Like I couldn't tell you, like because of Halo and everything like that, I couldn't tell you what the DOJ's like strong opinion on anything was. Because I think they all have differing opinions and they don't have a strong stance on anything anymore.
Everybody's afraid to stand up and be the one that takes a stand
Yeah.
and make a claim. Nobody wants to be the leader right
No.
now.
Yeah.
But everybody's afraid to be wrong because then you get persecuted globally, and then it's like you get run out of the state.
Yeah, it's like we need people like Crane and like Angel to be in like Chief Justice positions for that exact reason. It's the same reason, like, you know, I don't agree with everything Pred does, but when he was sheriff, like, he was that exact kind of person, right? He'd, you know, he'd have his faults, but at the end of the day, he was like a strong leader that held up the department and its values. And yeah, we need people like that. Otherwise, things fall apart. What we don't need is people like Moss, who are just like, who just bend over backwards for Nino. You know what I mean? Like, that's not the kind of person that I think needs to be in a high command position. She doesn't. Go on.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I talk with Nino all the time, but I'll tell him straight up when he's being dumb.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, like, I think Nino goes into conversations expecting you to have the same opinion of him, and when you don't, then he doesn't like it.
Well, yeah, he's surrounded by yes man.
Yeah.
Although I think that might be why he likes to talk to me, because I don't just yes man him, but I also back up my when I disagree with him.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of time to sit in this office and just ponder things, and I have a lot of opinions on how shit should be done.
Yeah, I agree.
I may not always be right, and you know what? That's okay. I still think that's how things should be done. But I'm the ideas person who sits around and just gets creative with shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope that what he's saying about Wise and being like, he's just going to ask for forgiveness. I hope he does that. I really do, because I get a lot of respect from him if he does that. And if he does that, like, if he's like, we're going to carry on as normal, we're going to follow the legislation, we're going to do, you know, we're still going to look into government agencies, but we're going to do investigations as well. I think we really need to, like, everybody in the marshals need to realize, like, this is like our chance to step up and do it. Then everybody needs to be here. And, you know, like, we never had meetings. Don't get me wrong. I think we worked together well, but I think we could have worked together a hell of a lot better and communicated a hell of a lot better than we did.
I mean, I don't think we worked together well, but that's because nobody worked with me.
You don't think so?
Nobody helped me with any of my case. I asked over and over again, hey, can I get help doing this? And people would be like, yeah, I'll help you with that. And I'd go, hey, cool, here's some work for you. And I'd send it to them, and then I'd never hear back from them ever again.
That's fair enough.
I never worked with any of this shit I had. I mean, look at the fucking case board.
Oh, I don't think now's a good time to use it as an example, I'll be honest.
It's the whole fucking month. You know, the last time anybody wrote a single state marshal report that wasn't me?
When?
December 3rd.
Yeah. Okay. Who was it?
It was you.
Yeah. And then I got sick. I got really sick.
Yeah.
I agree with you. But I think the point is that people got burned out. And I think if Weiss is going to go out of his way to, like, you know, step up and be like, fuck it, we're just going to ask for forgiveness, then I think people who are burned out need to realize that this is an opportunity that we can kind of step up and try it out again, and we've got to make the most of it, right? Unless you disagree.
Yeah.
You're not hopeful?
I think no, I'm not hopeful at all. I think we're on the way out. I think we're 3 steps from the end of the road. I'm collecting the paychecks, and I'm doing what I can, but I'm already, even alone, I'm meeting so much resistance and kickback on things, and it's just like, what's the point? And it's not kickback from one side; it's kickback from every side, and pushback, and it's just, this isn't what the state wants. It's what we needed, but it's not what the state wants. And I mean the state as in not just the government, I mean the people, the agencies, the Department of Justice. We're a pain point. Nobody wanted the director position. None of the justices want this. Weiss got voluntold to take it. You're a justice. Here's the director position. The PDs hate us. None of them really want to work with us. I mean, I'm getting some cooperation from some officers because I'm offering them shit. the citizens definitely hate us. Walk outside that door and see how long it takes to get a shoe thrown at you or a snowball or some shit or even shot.
Yeah, that's because they see us as cops. That's why. I don't know.
But fact of the matter is that the state doesn't want us. The whole fucking state doesn't want us. Do I think we're needed? Yeah. But we can't get accountability. No matter what we do, we can't get accountability from anyone, anywhere. How many people have we successfully impeached?
0.
Yeah, doesn't that fucking hurt, considering that was the primary objective of this agency?
Yeah, I can
This
agree
many
with you
months,
there.
and we don't have a single ACR. We don't have a single impeachment, and that was the primary objective of this agency.
Yeah, but boil that down. Like, why hasn't that happened?
We try to bring things up, and they fall apart. We bring up issues all the time, and they just get ignored. And I'll be honest, we are all terrified to progress that next step because of the potential kickback we get.
Yeah,
And it's not, and unfortunately, it's kickback that affects a lot of people outside of just our jurisdiction.
yeah, I agree with you there.
The fan mail has not exactly been great.
No, you're right. Yeah, I think it's it's difficult to say like what a fix would be, right? Like I don't know what the fix would be for that.
The fix is a cultural change,
Yeah,
and it's not going to happen because cultural changes require a complete gutting top to bottom.
both sides get that.
People to lead who don't want
Yeah,
this
of
kind
course
of
they do.
ridiculousness. And unfortunately, every person in position of power right now, I'll just say it straight out, they're drama queens. They thrive on the drama. We don't have serious leadership. And that's the core problem of the whole fucking government agency we have. We have no serious leadership.
Yeah, I think I don't know whether Wise just gonna fill that role. I don't know, but at the same time, reading legislation, it doesn't say that a justice has to be the director.
Yeah,
You could be the
they're
director,
wanting to change the legislation too.
but they
Yeah,
wanted to change the
who's
legislation to
gonna-
be a justice.
Nobody's going to trust me in a director position
Why not?
because nobody thinks I'm fit for it.
I don't know about that. I think you can do a good job.
I think I do. I think I would do a good job too, but I don't think anyone will accept it. They already give me kickback on just doing my basic job work. Like I literally have been operating purely in good faith all month. I don't do anything maliciously. I don't do anything in bad faith, and I try to show that over and over again. And it's constant accusations and constant kickback and constant just nothing's going to change.
Are those from people who matter though? Do you know what I'm saying? Like you're getting
Yeah, the
kickback.
chief of police.
My point stands. Why should we, the marshals, who are supposed to be there as a non-biased oversight party, gonna care about the opinions of the chief of police when we're supposed to be looking into people like that? We're not.
'Cause there's
The whole
nothing
point
we
is
can
we're
do.
we're not supposed to care about anybody else but us. In terms of like opinions, like we operate, we do what we do. As long as we're doing it right, we shouldn't care about anybody else. As long as they don't cooperate with suggestions to investigations that we do into their cops, and they don't cooperate and they don't do it, then we ACR them. We don't need cooperation. It'd be nice, but I think maybe the time is past. It's like we realize that working with them isn't going to work. So we've got to move in the direction that's we try and cooperate. If it doesn't happen, then we've just got to start throwing out ACRs and impeachments. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that, I think we've got to bite the bullet and realize that this, at least LSPD High Command is not going to be cooperative. I don't know about Radich. Now that's all changed.
I'm just tired of being the bad guy, and I'm tired of focusing on people because they're an asshole. Like, when I think of we need to go after corruption, I think of the people who are slipping 100 tourniquets to a
Yeah,
gang friend for money under the table. And I don't know,
go on.
it feels like we don't go anywhere when we go after people for this obvious negligence, because people see this negligence and clear directions of their duties and go, haha, that's just how they are. And that's the culture. The culture of our departments accept it. And you you don't make noticeable change. And I mean, I don't expect to fix the PDs in a month, or to pop one person out and solve everyone's problems, but
Yeah.
fuck, no matter what work you do, it doesn't go anywhere. You can't get momentum if it's an immovable object.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I think I do agree that there came a point where we were just we kind of accepted the bad, and just kind of let it slide. I guess we became complacent, which is not a good thing. Yeah, I don't know. There has to be. It is difficult, and I do get your point, because if our whole thing is like holding people accountable, and like that's our job, and yet we're getting pushback from like leaders of departments and counties, even though our job is to like keep everybody in check. That's definitely not like a good thing, and it definitely doesn't give us any kind of like you'd expect support. I think is my point. When we don't get there, it's very much like a I don't know. It's disheartening.
Yeah.
And I think that what burned people out is like, I think a lot of people probably expected. Like I've spoken to I remember like Anna. I know she wanted cooperation, and I think she expected cooperation. So it wouldn't surprise me if some of her burnout came from not getting that. So yeah, it's I don't know.
Hold that thought. I need to change clothes real quick.
Okay. That's the reason why another football works, because ACRs and people are meant to be checks and balances. Everyone's terrified of using them. Yeah, I think that needs to be like if the marshals are going to carry on, that mindset needs to
I
change.
need to change it more appropriate attire for the conversation.
What? How is this more appropriate?
It's just a phase. I think we've kind of hit a point where this whole thing started off on a bad foot because we find people who just want to. We're encountering and going up against people who just want to find a reason to hate us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Without giving us a chance. And unfortunately, I mean, we kind of blew it in some regards. I'm going to be real with you. I'm really not happy with this whole audit thing and how it never came to fruition. Like if we did something with all those audits, that'd be one thing. But we literally took them all and then did nothing.
Yeah.
We had this huge thing into Nino. We have all these like 44 reports mentioning Nino, and we did nothing.
Yeah,
Like,
there was ACOs ready with Sparks, and then I don't really know what happened there.
It's a fan mail, but
right, okay.
But it's just this last month, like I know I just said this, of acting in good faith to the best of my ability, and it just being thrown back in my face no matter what I do. Being treated like I'm constantly working maliciously or in bad faith when all I have done is operate in good faith, and it comes constantly, nonstop. That it's festered a culture of hate And it's
100%. Yeah.
a very toxic work environment. This fucking sucks, Dark.
Yeah. Yep. But I can tell you, this has been like this is just IA on a grander scale. Like back in the day, working IA, this is exactly the same thing. It's just on a bigger scale. Like I would get like people would treat me like shit, man. No matter what. Like all I was doing was trying to hold the PD accountable, right? That's all I was trying to do. But everybody saw us as the enemy. It didn't matter. It did not matter at all. So yeah, it's just the same thing on a bigger scale. People don't like to be held accountable.
Yeah.
It's not what they want. They'd rather do it themselves, but then they never do it. That's the issue. They'll do it here and there, and a lot of people will use as scapegoats. And then nothing else will happen. It's a tale as old as time.
Yeah. I may have a lot of ideas. I just don't know what to do with this problem.
I mean, realistically, let's just do a hypothetical here. Let's say Weiss comes along and is like, okay, Craig, you're the director now, right? What would you do? What would you do to change things?
As stupid as this sounds, I have to know what their direction is because we're fighting against the governor's office.
Okay, let's just ignore the governor's office for a second, and let's just say we carry on as normal, right? Same legislation. That's the direction. Like we carry on with Angel's direction, right? What would you do differently?
I mean, if it were my agency and I was running things, I would, and I had free roam to do whatever I wanted to do with this thing.
Mm-hmm.
The whole task force idea where I generate
Yeah.
the little mini task force,
I like that.
I think is a great direction. Setting criminal investigations primarily to the county police departments and providing them resources and encouragement and guidance.
Like oversight. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Like imagine if we could have like a weekly meeting, and then like all the investigators that wanted to come along, like we have a big like investigation meeting with the county, and we just run that as like a, not like we're leading them, but we're like, you know, helping and assisting, right? And see if we can offer any services. And then like once a week, everybody can come along who has an investigation that might need assistance or anything like that, and we can be like, hey, yeah, we can help you that. We can, you know, we can provide you with support or like equipment, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Also gives us an idea about what's going on and that kind of investigation, and we can, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll be real. Like as far as like internally, what the marshals could do on their own and stuff like that is going to vary between storms. The interaction and the culture between this storm and the next storm is vastly different. It is a giant fucking crevice of a difference between how those.
Yeah, I've realized that.
So yeah, so it's really going to come down to figuring out. I don't know how to work out independent operation in the opposite storm. I operate pretty well in here.
Yeah, me too.
Helping out
Yeah.
the 77s. Like some of those things to cure some of our boredom is having that ability to assist on patrol.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in the police department, you're in the county police departments. Everyone wants to be a leader, right?
Yep.
And they foster leadership. That's one of their primary goals is to foster leadership and grow. And they promote people who are good leaders out in the field. Well, good leaders need good followers. And I think a good step for patrol operations, if marshals need some patrol, because they need to go out there and patrol every once in a while to see what gets done. But marshals should be the reference for what it is to be a good 77. And be that dependable, knowledgeable follower so that the leaders can shine. But the followers are also the ones that do a lot of the work. We go out there and we pick up the evidence. We take the statements. And we get trained on how to do these detective works to pull on threads. You know, when we're out there and seeing these day-to-day operations and talking to people and picking up the evidence for for different agencies, and we'd go back and actually analyze the evidence. We find threads to pull on, and we can start our own investigations off of them.
And then it's
And-
like, we respond to those calls. Like, we might, like, I've been on calls before where I'm like, oh shit, this might be something. Like, let's say there's a shootout between some people, right? Like, let's say it's a couple of gangs. And that's like the first time we've heard about these guys shooting each other. And we go to a scene, and people they'll just arrest them, charge them for gang-related shooting, and send them off, right? But, like, if there's people like us there, we might be like, well, actually, can we, like, why don't you take them to interrogation and ask them what the fuck's going on? They might not give you anything, but at least it might give us some information. Like, is there a gang war going on? What's going on? Like, yesterday, we were talking to Jamal, maybe not the best example because the guy's a yapper, but it sounded like he admitted that, Maynard Schmidt, idiot, he was told by Maynard that they shot down Shlomi Spector of the Manor. So there might be a gang war brewing there, and that's something to keep on radar. And, it's like information gathering that I think isn't encouraged a lot by PD, and I think is wanted by PD, but isn't encouraged. So if we're there as backup, we might be able to guide them in the right direction to do that.
Yeah, and honestly, I know this is not the legislation focus and things like that we have right now, but creating a central intelligence database. We critically lack readily available intelligence for police officers.
100%.
Like we got a new generation of police officers coming in who it's going to be a month before they get trained what even a Polito or a Fleeka, not Fleeka, the Maze Bank robbery is, because we never see them anymore.
Yeah.
We just had one pop up today, and people were like, wow, I haven't seen those before.
Really? Damn.
And, yeah, because we have a new generation who hasn't seen one yet. And the whole process flow of what we know is done to break into the Fleeka office, it needs to be written down so that we can counter these things.
Yeah.
It's
like the cargo ship stuff is not centralized or documented anywhere, but there is information out there. Like there was information. I had to dig through reports to just find out that some of the stuff they were seeing off cargo ships was like car parts, like tires and shit like that. But like if you ask the general public of the PD about what they're stealing, most of them are going to say, I don't know, right?
Yeah, we need an intelligence database to put together and keep up with these things. Like I've been working on science. I have a science project going on with the DOJ right now where we've been acquiring engines and seeing what engines do what. I've been working with a vetted civilian out in the field who acquires parts from gangs, puts together engines, and then we are providing him with vehicles to science them on and figure out what's what. Like I have a 6.2 liter V8 engine. I popped it into my personal Everon. Like it was horrible in almost every car. We put it in a government car, but I popped it into my Everon and it made it fucking amazing. Right now, if you go out there and you respond to calls, you'll see a lot of Sultans.
Yeah.
And it's because they're dropping engine swaps. There's a V6 twin turbo engine that people drop into Sultans and make them fucking insane. They outrun all of our interceptors.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff is really important.
Yeah, it's the knowledge base, so we can have this knowledge so that we can counter it.
Yeah.
In the field, when we encounter in the field, we know what to do. Like these white cards. These white cards are being used, and I think they're for certain different types of robberies. I want to say they're related to the jewelry store.
Yeah, I've seen some cards popping up on Twitter. Yeah, I saw a ship. Someone mentioned a ship card.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah.
But things like that, where if we see them in the field, you need to be able to quickly reference. Oh, I need to pop up the intelligence database to see what the fuck this is, and this is in relation to this. Oh shit, because sometimes Shift 2 might see something that Shift 3 never sees, and then like Shift 3 gets it, and we're like, what the fuck is this? And oh yeah, Shift 2 saw these about a month ago, and we didn't know because there's no database.
Thing is, it can all be done in the MDT too. It can just be like a method document, and then just reference them. It can just like the legislation one I did. Like it's not filled out or anything, but you can just literally reference a bunch of master docs, and you can just click through and find what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And we would have the time to do that because we're in the office most of the day. That's the benefit of having like a detective unit.
And I mean, I would personally treat internal corruption investigations as a top priority,
Mm-hmm.
but on the
Yep.
same scale as we do with the criminal ones. Like,
Yeah.
because I'm gonna be honest with you, you dig enough into a criminal investigation, or you do a big enough criminal investigation, you're going to encounter corrupt civilians or government agents. Like the giant fucking Cypress investigation I did,
When you found the doctors
uncovered
and stuff like that.
all the doctors
Yeah.
involved in it. And so it's really hard to differentiate them when they're like, oh yeah, if you're going to investigate these, you can only investigate government employees. If we're investigating corrupt government employees, you're going to investigate criminals as well.
Yep.
It's going
Yep.
to happen. 90% of this town is criminals. It's going to cross over. You can't make that differentiation. It's going to make our lives too difficult to try and make sure we stay on one line or the other.
I think, like, with what you're saying is with the corruption investigation as well. Like, I did a thing, and I don't know whether it's the right thing to do, but back when I was running IA, I basically said, once we get a case, once you get a case on your desk, like, there's a 72-hour limit for you to, like, investigate. Now, that's not a fixed limit because, you know, scheduling and things like that can happen. But you need to get everything you can on that case within 72 hours, and then maybe we have a debrief with, like, the director, right? So maybe we do something like that. Like, you get a case, you gather all the information you can within 72 hours, and then you debrief with the director about what the next steps are.
Yeah, but
Like, you don't.
I really want to foster county cops into doing more.
Yeah.
We've got this very intense culture of what I call instant gratification police.
Yeah.
Where you go to a call, you finish it, you wrap it up as soon as the action's done, you wrap it up as soon as possible and move on to the next thing. And no analysis is done on evidence. And like you can see this by looking at reports and look at anything with a hot gun. Anything where a shooting was involved, look at basic reports, not incident reports, basic reports. And the summary of their charges for the hot guns it's abysmal. Almost every single one of them.
Yeah.
And it's just like every single gun, any gun coming back to this, you're going to charge them with this, with one global charge. And that's not every gun is going to be articulatable like that.
No.
I mean, I had one recently that was fuck. Let me find it real quick. If it hasn't been bumped up to a main report already.
You used to have officers that did it, but they're all gone.
Mhm.
But we need new old guard, man.
It was a.
We need new old guard. Just need people like Sizz around. I miss Sizz, dude. I miss Sizz in the HOA.
Fuck. God damn it. It's probably
just a group of fun-loving folk that happen to do crime. I think the clowns are pretty good. The clowns are definitely hitting the same spot of like just a bunch of city guys and girls that just like have fun and then do crime.
Moved to an incident. So incident number 11525. 11525 should be security truck OIS, right?
Yeah, I got it.
So a security truck. Davenport and I showed up on the bridge overlooking it, and we got shot at. Davenport shot back, and then we fled because there was 6 of them versus 2 of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we waited a while, and I went back and I collected evidence. I collected evidence from the bridge. I collected evidence from the ground, and you can see every single gun. I've listed out what the charges are, and some of the guns, like some of the casings and projectiles, have different charges. And it's depending on what I could articulate based on the statements, based on the facts, based on the actual evidence analysis itself. Like, I know I was shot by 2 different people. Davenport was shot by 1 person, and that was backed up by the evidence. And one of the person that shot at Davenport, I could see the projectiles over his blood. I went down to the scene, and I could see casings. I know Davenport said he shot back at the person shotting him.
Next
and
to
sure
DNA.
enough, where the casings were, there was blood.
Yeah.
Boom. It was like that blood is they shot from this casing, and that shot at Davenport specifically. And I was like, you can literally follow it back. But then I had to put in the note in there of if this the very last gun in there, if this firearm is not recovered from Zebra, the possessor should not be charged with it. Like, they should not get additional charges from this report, period. Because we know factually Zebra is the one that it's not barred. It is PC levels on this. We have PC that Zebra is the one that shot this, right?
Yeah. I think the issue is, and I think if you brought this up, the argument that would be made is that there's too much going on for them to spend time doing that level of detail and investigation.
Who cares? There's
My
already
point
too much
exactly.
going on.
Yeah. You can ignore some stuff to spend extra time.
Yeah. I was at the food court earlier, right?